is Sex Talk. Today we're going to be talking about anal sex. My name is IJEOMA Big Cat Richards and
my name is STELLAMARIS NNAJi, the heartbeat.
So let's talk about
sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex.
Do you know that any sex that is done around the anal area is called anal sex? So any sex, any kind of sex you have around your anus, not necessarily penetrative sex, it's called anal sex. Do you know that?
True. Yeah, I know that.
Or am I teaching you that?
No, I know that. I know what anal sex is all about. So tell us, is it healthy?
Well, it could be. You can make it healthy. But it's not like normal vaginal sex or every other kind of sex that you can approach easily or without preparing for it. One of the basic reasons for that is that unlike the vagina, you know, the vagina is self-lubricating. If the woman is aroused, she gets wet.
Yeah, she gets
but the anal walls are not like that. So you have to use loads of lubricants to be able to safely have anal sex. And besides that, you also have to kind of give it time, do it slowly, because there's a lot of issues around the having anal sex.
Talking about issues, why do you have to do anal sex when you have a lot of issues around it? Because for instance, I know that anal sex comes with a lot of issues, like you said. Dryness, a lot of work, painful, blisters around the penis area.
Penis?
Yes.
How?
You don't know.
How do you have
penetration into when something is dry?
No, but you're not supposed to do it forcefully. That's why we said
it has to be with somebody's consent. But some men, they don't even bother to ask for your consent.
No, how do you have anal sex without consent?
Oh gosh. Actually, what planet are you from? There are some men that don't even need to ask you. They just take it for granted. Oh, I want it and I want it.
No, but I want to believe that sex is something. One of the most basic rules about sex is consent. As soon as the person, whether the man or the woman, says no, you know, it ends there. So I don't actually even want to explore that somebody would have sex with a person that hasn't given their consent. So let's move beyond the consent. That is the criminal aspect of it. I don't want to go into. So if we are going to have consensual anal sex, there's a lot
anal sex too can also puncture your colon.
No, but
can give a hole there.
It can, but it rarely does. What health professionals say is that if you are bleeding from your anal area consistently and you've had sex, you should have it checked out, because it's a possibility. It's not, as soon as you have anal sex, you're going to bleed through the anus.
I can go on and on, IJ. Anal sex causes, what's it called? Bacteria.
Well, every kind of sex can cause bacteria.
Has its own disease.
Do we not get STIs from vaginal sex?
It's not enjoyable. It's painful.
How would you know?
So
No. It's not just, you don't just come out and say it's painful. Yes. No, but
it is. It's for me. I think it's the men that really enjoy anal sex more than the women.
Why would you be talking for all women? You're not all women.
Okay, that's why I said for me. I think. I'm not talking. I think it's men that enjoy it more because they ask for it more.
Well, some women enjoy. The only thing that has been said is that you use lubricants, you discuss with your partner. Some women actually want to try anal sex.
Really?
But yes, they want to try anal sex and they request it of their partners. The only thing is that with anal sex, there has to be more preparation. You can't just, even when you're ready to have it, you have to, because you know how tight the anal walls are.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
And tight. It's very tight. You give it time, and then it's advised that you use water-based lubricants.
Because I also imagine if you want to go to the toilet and you have a strong physics, can imagine the process and how painful it could be. Not to talk of where you want to put in that big thing there. So it's hurtful. It's not.
The suggestion for anal sex is I understand.
Okay, apart from the lubricant you're saying,
I understand.
If you don't use lubricant, what happens? Not everybody have time to go and get a lubricant to use.
I understand your concerns and they are valid, but what I'm saying is that anal sex has its ups and downs, and there are safe.
Thank God, she's agreeing with me this time.
There are safe ways to do it, and those safe ways have been explained. There are safe ways to have anal sex, like we were saying. You make sure to use lubricants. Make sure to use water-based condoms, because the oil-based ones are likely to break.
Yes.
And then another thing that's suggested is if you've been having anal sex with a particular condom, that before you move to vaginal condom,
you have to change.
You switch condoms.
That's stress.
How is it stress?
That's stress.
No. See, the thing with anal sex, obviously, is that as much as it's not for everyone, not everyone is not a thing. So there are processes or things you have to take into consideration before you have anal sex. It's not like we said, it's not like vaginal sex. You don't just wake up and say, oh, I feel like it, and jump into bed. No. You have to be sure that you have the right lubricant, that you have condoms. The reason why condoms are especially suggested or prescribed or whatever for anal sex is because it's very easy to get STIs or HIV through anal sex.
True.
And this is because of how narrow the canal, that place is, and how tight it could be. You can easily have a tear. So if you have a tear, infections are very likely.
Very true.
So that's why we said anal sex is not something you just jump into. You have to discuss with your partner. You have to be sure that they're all right with it.
Yeah.
They're all right with it. You have to be sure to prepare the area, by being kind to it, caressing it, preparing it, tendering it up, because it's not, like we said, it's not like the vagina. So
right, do you know it also has a very high risk of anal cancer?
I haven't seen that anywhere. I haven't read it.
Yes, it has.
No, it's not the anal sex. If it's like hemorrhoids, for instance, bile, what we call bile.
Yes.
It's not the anal sex that causes it, but if you have it already, and one of the things that complicates
anal sex causes it. That's what I'm telling
you. No, it doesn't cause it. What it does is it's like pregnancy too. Because the hemorrhoids are there. When you're pregnant, the weight of the baby bears down on the hemorrhoids, and then it inflames it. Then for anal sex, if it's there already and that's consistent, kind of going in there, could inflame it, not that it's going to cause it or anything. So usually it's already there. So it's why we say that anal sex is a bit tricky, but on the upside, there are upsides actually.
Well, for me, do you think, is it pleasurable, or you just do it for the fun of it?
It's pleasurable.
Because I don't think it's everybody that enjoys anal sex.
No, not everybody. Because of all these delicate things surrounding it. And, it's suggested that you take the pre-exposure prophylaxis that prevents HIV.
HIV and all.
If you're going to have sex. And then pre-exposure prophylaxis only prevents HIV. It doesn't prevent other STIs. So all of this has to be taken into consideration. But on the upside, some people like it. There are a lot of people that like anal sex. And the thing is, it's not as painful after the first time. The first time is, a bit tricky, and you have to be careful.
To avoid tear and all those.
And I hear that the nerve endings around that area is really, really sensitive. So it's very pleasurable.
Oh.
Yeah.
For men.
Who says it's for men? It's not just men.
For men.
How do you mean for men?
Women. It's women that suffer it's women that have the the bacteria, it's women that have the tear, it's women that have the men. The only thing I know men could have is the blisters, and maybe that's it. That's when you have a forceful entry.
Are you saying that
As if you have a forceful entry.
I need you to explain something to me. Are you saying that the man's anal area is different from the woman's? In what sense?
Except you're talking about those that are gay.
Whether you're gay or straight or whatever, it's a kind of sex that people have, and it could be a man having it, it could be a woman. We're just saying at that place, if you have it, it's not just the woman. Whatever complications can happen to a woman who's having anal sex can happen to a man who's having anal sex. So there is no, I don't think the anal area of the man is stronger than that.
It's stronger.
I don't
Of
think
course, it should be stronger.
I would know. It's the same.
Are you sure?
It's the
It should be
same.
stronger. But we don't know. I wish we have a male
Yeah,
guest.
we need to try.
We need to invite somebody one day,
No,
a
but
male guest.
if you invite
to
a man,
explain
no, if you
this.
invite a man who's never had anal sex or who's never,
But he will know if he might have a girlfriend, and we'll compare his girlfriends with.
how would he
his own.
know what his girlfriend's, if he's not had anal sex? How would he know what his girlfriend's anal muscles are like compared to his own? You mean, do they go around saying, okay, let me see what you're saying? Right? How would he know?
Seriously, I don't know. I just don't like imagining this anal sex. I see it as unhealthy, not hygienic, comes with a lot of issues, a lot of problems surrounding it. So for me, it's a no-no.
Admittedly, it's high risk because
It's high risk.
there's a lot of warnings around what you have to do. Like we said, it's not like having vaginal sex, where you can just go in and come out, because it hasn't been said that if you are having vaginal sex and you want to have an anal sex, you should change condoms. But it says if you've been having anal sex and you want to have vaginal sex, you should change condoms. Well, yes, because of course that area is for passing out waste. So, well, the vagina is for passing out some kind of waste as well. But anyway, so
that kind of waste.
So
that kind of waste.
So the being careful, but there's a lot of falsehood too, because health.com says that people tend to think that if you've been having anal sex, it gets to a point where you have no control over your bowel movement, and they say that's not true. So I don't know how true that is.
Does it contract immediately? Because that of vagina does that.
Well, some people have
Because
said, they're saying that the study is not, that the research, that is not true, that is a myth, and that the study is biased or baseless, but that if after anal sex that it supposedly contracts, and you can have your normal functions of the anus as usual. But I reckon that people are going to be hearing those myths and be worried about
that research could be 50-50 for me, because that area is a very sensitive area. Imagine somebody that has pile, what the person goes through in that area. Not to talk of when you are now forcefully pushing something in there.
Why do you keep saying forcefully? It's not forceful.
Oh, because the only thing is you have to use a lubricant. If a person, at what point, if the lubricant is not available, what do you do and you want to have anal sex? You will do it.
No, you cannot. You cannot have it. The one, this.
Don't forget that some people are not considerate.
It's not about you. It's about the person that you're having the sex with. And you need to make it safe for them. Besides which, the disease that can be caught is, I think it's made worse if the lubrication is not done properly, because and then even with your fingers, if you're going to use your fingers around there, you're supposed to make sure that your nails are well cut, so you don't inflame the sensitive nerve endings that you have there.
Tell me, what's the pleasure in anal sex if it's surrounded with so many package? When I say package, not positive or negative package. So what's the pleasure there?
Well, for instance, if the anus is full of all those sensitive nerve endings that we've been told about. The thing is that you actually achieve orgasm lots of times because it's so easily stimulated. And then because that a lot of people, vaginal sex is just regular, normal, and many people want to try new things, and this is another way of trying new things. And those nerve endings that are pleasurable, they make anal sex really, really exciting and fun. So for a lot of people, they will take all the precautions and they'd rather have anal sex. And these things are, you are with somebody you love, that you want to be with. So it's exploring. The only thing that is said is while exploring and enjoying, and then that pain and all those things gets better after the first time. I think it's more like being a virgin, after the first time. The other times are not as painful, so you're more likely to be enjoying the sex than after it. But the thing is, use a condom, use a water-based lubricant, be sure that you prepare the place nicely, and then remember to change condoms if you're changing holes.
You're changing holes.
Yes, if you're coming from that way and
going to...
Yes, going
from right to left.
So for a lot of people, anal sex is the new. Recently, it's
just for them to explore and have fun.
No, a lot
because I read somewhere that they said people don't easily have orgasm through anal sex.
No.
Yes.
No, you have
they enjoy.
Are we reading different things? Because it says that you can get multiple orgasms through anal sex, because those nerve endings I keep mentioning, they're very sensitive. So they're very exciting to go in. Not that the vaginas, whatever, is not us, but the anal ones are really sensitive. And sensitivity can go either way. That's why you have all those kind of user manual around it. Be careful, use a condom, use a water-based condoms, use lubricants.
Toys too.
You can use
toys.
Yes. No, it's the same. If you use toys, or if you use your fingers, is the same. But the main thing is that after.
I don't think if you use toys, it will be as painful as penetration.
Why? It's still penetration.
Oh shit!
Bloody thing is so tiny. It's so tiny, so you have to, whatever you're using, small. I think they have butt plugs. I think they call them, because my friend has a sex shop, so I'm going to ask her again. I think they call them butt plugs. They're small. They're not as big as the penis is, and then you can use the finger. But with all of these things, you're advised to be. Sometimes they said you can do something. An enema, I think it's called. If you want to have anal sex, you just clean out that whole area. But even if you clean out the whole area, you're still supposed to change condoms if you're moving from the anal.
If you're changing holes.
If you're changing holes from this point to the other point. Yes. And then admittedly, it has been said that anal sex is not for everyone. For some people, it's just too painful. And for some people, it's not just their thing. And some people are not just that adventurous. But there are people that want to try everything, that enjoy. And for some people, they actually prefer it to vaginal sex. So
really?
Yeah, the people who prefer it to vaginal sex. So for these people, all these precautions are important. Taking all the HIV, for instance, you have medicines to prevent that. We've spoken about.
It's high.
It's high. You have
sex.
High chances
Very
of
high.
getting it through
yeah.
anal sex. Other STIs as well. It's very simple. The reason, though, not just because if you have anal sex, because you can easily tear. Yeah, you can easily tear those very sensitive. Yeah. That's what we're saying. The nerve endings. There are two sides to it. It's very sensitive. You can have orgasms because they're that sensitive. They can also easily tear. So you need to be careful when you're trying to have any form of anal penetration, either with your butt plug or with your fingers or with the penis, so that you don't cause harm to the person. And it's been spoken of, consent is very important.
Consent is very
Very
negotiate.
important.
Agree.
Discuss it, and even because that's the kind of place where somebody can agree to try, and then you get to a point and you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. So we do need to listen to our partner when we're having anal sex. Although I think that for a lot of people, a lot more people though, the research says more than half of the world population, well, can't say world population, maybe sexually active people are interested in anal sex. And I must think we are all getting bored with vaginal sex. Yeah, we're probably all getting bored with the normal thing, and we want to try new things.
New things, yeah.
I can bet my bottom money that you're never gonna try.
You know that's alright. You don't need to say it. Never. For what? Never.
It can't be easy though.
Nah. I can't even imagine it.
It can't be easy though, because all of these issues. But with when people are in love, it's like never say never.
No.
There's
a limit to some things. I like adventures, but not this. Oh no.
You don't like adventure.
I do.
You say no to everything. How can you like it? It's no. Everything is no. So
yeah, I agree to some things, but not anal sex.
Anal sex is definitely it's tricky though.
It's tricky. I said it came with a lot of package.
There's a lot of baggage surrounding it, but if you do like anal sex and you do want to explore it, I think we've listed the precautions you have to take. What on the top of that for me is listen to your partner. They may say yes, and if it's rather uncomfortable, it becomes a no for them. So for me, if you want to try, so let's not forget, according to Harvard.com, the anal sex puts you at higher risk of HIV, STIs, and other forms of sexual acts. Then again, anal sex is really pleasurable because of the really nice sensitive nerve endings surrounding it. So if you are really, really adventurous and want to try, be careful, lubricate, use the water-based condoms, and have yourselves a good time. So let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Subscribe to our channel, click the notification button, comment, like, tell us what you think. Let's drink to this one.